All right, hello, I'm Mr. Michael,
And I'm Mr. Eric.
and in this video we're talking about scheduling. This section is going to talk about how to schedule your classes so that you're in sync with the Learning Groove's overall schedule. So let's take a look at it. First of all, you want to have four class sessions per year. Now that's the recommended schedule that you have, and it follows the season. So basically you're going to have a spring, summer, fall, and winter session for every year. Now, of course, as a licensee, you have the freedom to deviate from this to a certain degree. Like, you don't have to have exactly 10 weeks per session, and you might have some flexibility, but overall, we highly recommend that you stick with this schedule. Let's see.
There's a lot of good reasons to stick with the schedule, and one of them is that our training is coordinated with the schedule. So that if you're able to come to a live training session, it will be about 3 weeks to a month before the new session starts. Another is that the schedule is kind of set up. If you do a 10-week program, well, every month, every 3 months there's about 12 to 13 weeks. So if you do a 10-week program, it gives you 3 weeks, which turns out 3 weeks extra, which turns out to be pretty important for holidays, to have a day in between, and just in case something happens, a snow day, whatever it may be.
That's right, that's right. Now, if you look, you also want to check with your location that you're at for blackout dates every session. So, for instance, let's say you've got a 3-month segment and you want to plan 10 weeks. Here are some of the things that you're going to plan around, some of which we just mentioned. You're going to want to calculate for holidays, so you want to make sure you skip holidays where everyone's going to be out of town anyways, or where people generally don't go to work those days. You want to check with your location, like some locations are going to have events planned that are more important to them than your classes, believe it or not.
That's impossible. How is that possible?
I don't understand, but sometimes this happens, and you need to double check with them so that you plan your 10 weeks according to their schedule as well, so that you don't have a conflict. And sometimes that means you have to skip a week during a session, and that happens to me pretty often, actually. That's pretty common for a location to have at least 1 week where I can't do my class, so I'll skip that week. And let's see, what else might happen? Oh, also, it's just nice sometimes to take a week between sessions, or sometimes 2 weeks between sessions. Gives you a little break, gives your parents time to realize how much they miss your classes.
Yeah, give people time to miss you.
And so these are all reasons. These are all ways that the 10 weeks fit into a 3-month schedule. So you have a little bit of leeway. And once again, Mr. Eric mentioned snow days and things like that. Sometimes you have inclement weather or certain situations where you just need to cancel a class during a week, and that gives you a little bit of room to play with.
It's important to keep teaching consistently. Kind of people get into a routine and momentum. You want them to be in the habit of going to your class. So it's not really a great idea to, say, take the summer off or just skip a session. Now, there are things that will come up. For example, some locations may do summer camp over the summer and you don't have a space. Talk to your location, know about this in advance, see if you can stay there. But if not, finding a summer location is very possible. I did it. Not that hard to do. In fact, you're doing it.
I'm doing it too, yeah.
So not unusual to find a different summer location. Also, it is not unusual to, over the summer, if you want to do a slightly smaller class, 5 weeks or 6 weeks, or whatever you need to do to keep a consistent schedule. And by consistent, I don't mean 10 weeks every time, because obviously we're saying in the summer you can adapt. But to keep teaching each season, it will help you.
Yeah, and some ideas, now that you brought that up about the summer, you talked about offering shorter sessions, or you can offer 2 mini sessions, such as 2 5-week sessions. Of course, keep in mind that means extra processing time. Everybody's going to have to re-register every time. Or you can have it so that it rolls into the next one unless somebody can sign up for 10 weeks or 5 weeks. These are all, honestly, these things that I've chosen not to do because it's more of a record-keeping hassle.
What we wrote on the website, Mike, was you offer sessions that are, you may offer sessions that are longer or shorter than 10 weeks if you wish, Just be aware of the issues that may arise when deviating from the TLG recommended schedule.
That's true.
And the issues, they're not big issues. They'll just take you more time.
Mm-hmm. That's true. And then just one more thing for summer ideas. One thing that I'm doing, I went ahead and offered a 10-week summer schedule, but I allowed people to, if they had specific dates they knew they were going to miss for camps or vacations, I prorated the amounts as long as they gave me the exact dates. And while it's a bit more record keeping on my part, I'd rather them sign up for those 6 to 8 weeks rather than feel like, well, I don't want to pay for this session because I'm going to miss so many of them. And that happens a lot over the summer. So that's something I've chosen to do that you may or may not wish to do.
And you may be more flexible in the summertime than you are during the rest of the year. You wouldn't necessarily do that in the fall session or the winter session.
I don't do that in other sessions.
On the website, the final thing we have is the recommended session. So if you're wondering what months go, what is the fall session, what is the winter session, just look right on the website. Fall is September, October, November. Winter is December, January, and February. Spring is March, April, and May. And summer is June, July, and August.
That's right. And you want to try to stick to that as much as possible. All right.
All right. Good teaching.
Have fun.